Hello, good afternoon and welcome. This is Nationwide, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Justin Bemunyi. Nigeria and India have signed a memorandum of understanding on new areas of collaboration to further strengthen the bilateral ties between both countries. This was a major outcome of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to Nigeria on the invitation of President Bola Tinubu. State House correspondent Musbah Danwahab reports that the president conferred on his guests a national honor of the Grand Commander of the Order of Niger.
Again, the meeting of two willing partners. A partnership fast transforming from just bilateral relationship into a cordial friendship. This is a reverse order of their earlier meeting in New Delhi barely a year ago. President Tinubu's attendance of the 18th G20 Leaders Summit as a special guest and his meeting with Prime Minister Modi September last year culminated in some agreements that were poised to double the trade volume between the two countries that had, at a time, got close to $15 billion. Now, the relationship is becoming as cordial as it could ever get, with Prime Minister Modi visiting Nigeria, first by any Indian leader in 17 years. There are long-standing cooperations on education, energy, health, technology, and culture, among others. The partnerships are now growing wider, with agreements signed on survey cooperation, culture and exchange program, as well as customs cooperation.
Nigeria values its excellent relationship with India, and we work to broaden the same for mutual benefit of our two friendly countries. You stood side by side with Nigeria on many fronts for many decades. I'm confident that our discussions will enhance Nigerian-Indian relations on the basis of mutual respect and shared mission.
Today will add a new chapter in our relations, and together we will also continue to highlight at a global level the priorities of the Global South. And thanks to our joint efforts, we will achieve success as well in this.
And not just as fair weather friends, both parties are also willing to face their challenges together.
I'd like to express condolences for the loss of lives caused by the floods. To support your relief efforts, India is sending 20 tons of humanitarian aid to Nigeria. Excellency.
The state visit dovetailed into a special launch where President Bola Tinubu decorated his guest with the second highest national honor in the land, Grand Commander of the Order of Niger, GCON. Again, it's ending in a warm handshake that will further shape the relations in years to come. From the State House, Musbah Danwahab, NTA News.
In the meantime, Nigeria and India have reaffirmed their commitment to a robust strategic partnership, pledging to strengthen ties in key areas including economic development, defense, healthcare, and food security. Now, this is contained in a joint statement issued on Sunday in Abuja at the conclusion of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to Nigeria at the invitation of President Bola Tinubu. The Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says during their bilateral discussion, the two leaders agreed to a greater collaboration in counter-terrorism, maritime security, and intelligence sharing. They also agreed to coordinated actions to safeguard maritime trade routes and combat piracy with growing threats in the Gulf of Guinea and the Indian Ocean. The two countries pledged to continue regular naval exercises and joint anti-piracy operations in the Gulf of Guinea to safeguard critical maritime routes. The leaders, according to Onanuga, reiterated their unequivocal condemnation of terrorism in all its forms and manifestations, including the cross-border movement of terrorists and terror financing networks and safe havens, and called for the implementation of the UNGA and the UNSC resolutions on countering terrorism and violent extremism. Prime Minister Modi reiterated India's readiness to support Nigeria's defense modernization efforts, highlighting India's emergence as a trusted defense manufacturer. The two leaders also highlighted the vibrant economic relationship between India and Nigeria, with India positioned as Nigeria's largest trading partner and a significant contributor to its economy. Nigeria commended the contributions of over 200 Indian companies operating in the country, which have generated substantial employment and investment opportunities. On bilateral trade expansion, both leaders directed their officials to finalize pending agreements, including the Economic Cooperation Agreement, ECA, Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, DTAA, and the Bilateral Investment Treaty, BIT, to boost trade and investment. On infrastructure development, the joint statement arising from Prime Minister Modi's state visit stated that India reaffirmed its commitment to supporting Nigeria's development priorities through concessional lines of credit and technical expertise. On energy collaboration, Nigeria and India agreed on long-term contracts for crude oil and LNG supply and technical support in pipeline transmission security, CNG conversion and LPG bottling distribution, Onanuga said. The two leaders also discussed broader collaboration on food security and agriculture, health, education, and cultural exchanges. On food security, they agreed to enhance collaboration in the area of agriculture, from agricultural machinery, high-yield seeds, to sharing technical expertise, know-how, and technologies, and agreed to identify ways of cooperation in these areas. On healthcare sector, Nigeria and India pledged to deepen their collaboration, focusing on the establishment of hospitals and diagnostic centers, as well as the deployment of innovative health management systems. The Indian government also extended its commitment to supply high-quality generic pharmaceutical products to Nigeria at economical rates under the Pradhan Mantri Bhartiya Janaushadhi Pariyojana PMBJP scheme, a campaign launched by India's Department of Pharmaceuticals to provide quality medicines at affordable prices to the masses. The initiative is aimed at making essential medicines more affordable, particularly for vulnerable populations, and supporting Nigerian public hospital procurement processes. Both sides agreed to work together to encourage more Nigerian students to leverage these scholarship programs. President Tinubu and Prime Minister Modi applauded the vibrant cultural and academic exchanges between the two nations, which have included visits by cultural troupes, participation in film and literary festivals, and other collaborative activities. They underscored the importance of further widening these exchanges to promote mutual understanding and shared heritage. They also pledged cooperation on regional peace and security, particularly in West Africa. Onanuga says, as members of International Solar Alliance's ISA, both sides agreed to intensify their cooperation in establishing solar parks and to work towards increasing the share of the renewable energy in their energy portfolio. Now, survey has shown Africa's transport sector accounts for almost 1/3 of its total energy-related carbon emissions, with rapid urbanization and increasing transportation demands expected to lead to a rise in greenhouse gases. The forecast from side engagements in Baku, however, indicates that these emissions could be reduced by 130% by 2050 if Nigeria and Africa fully go the way of CNG and electric vehicles development. And Charles Alpha tells us more.
The transportation sector is vital in the process of globalizing products and services. However, the rise in air pollution from substantial energy consumption from non-renewable fossil resources is having adverse effects, specifically on the bulk of African nations. There is growing acknowledgement that greenhouse gases are responsible for climate change, and the combined utilization of fossil fuels across several industries account for more than 70% of the overall greenhouse gas emission on a global scale. Conversations here are on the huge potential Nigeria has and how can Africa revolutionize its energy sectors through investment in electric vehicles and renewable energy development.
If you look at it, for example, the largest polluting sector is the transportation sector, and we're 200 million people. In less than 30 years, we're projected to be about 500 million people. So imagine the number of cars. Therefore, Nigeria must, at this stage, begin to look at alternatives. And the best alternative is electric vehicles.
Although the Nigerian government has long begun the procurement of CNG buses and conversion of combustive to electric cars, affordability, establishment of more conversion and charging centers to cater for the need of many developing countries, delegates here believe are gaps that must be closed.
That is why we are here. We've done the pilot to prove that it's workable and it's doable. And that's why we are here looking for a partnerships and funding from different private and national government for that transition.
The government has set up an enabling environment that you can do this business by reducing the tax so that you're able to import all those components, so that you're able to assemble it in Nigeria.
Decarbonizing the transportation sector in Africa, starting with Nigeria, some say requires a huge investment and collaboration from the government and private sector for it to happen. In Baku, Azerbaijan, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission in Akure has declared the APC candidate Lucky Aiyedatiwa winner of Ondo governorship election. Residential Electoral Commissioner Oluwatoyin Babalola, who read out the results, said the APC candidate won with a total of 366,781 votes to defeat PDP candidate Agbola Ajayi, who had 117,845 votes. Lucky Aiyedatiwa emerged victorious, winning all 18 local government areas of the state. Former President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed joy with the success of the All Progressives Congress APC in the governorship election in Ondo State, which returned Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa with a landslide victory. In his reaction to the outcome of the election, the former president says the voters had spoken lucidly and loudly about the confidence they have in the party and the governor, and their wish expressed through the ballot box should be respected by other stakeholders, saying the election outcome has shown that democracy remains strong and cannot be easily overturned in a country as large and diverse as Nigeria. The former president notes it is equally a challenge to the governor-elect to put in place policies that engender economic growth, tame high unemployment and inflation, and the pursuit of welfare programs to make life better for the people. President Buhari commends the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and law enforcement agencies for the effort they put into reducing observed shortcomings in previous elections, and wishes Governor Aiyedatiwa and his team a successful tenure in office. We now take you to our Makudi Network Center, where Susan is standing by. Okay. Hello, how are you doing, Susan?
The construction of the 34-kilometer Akpai-Ikpengi-Yakuha-Akumba Road has commenced following the flag-off at Ikpengi in Boko local government area of the state. The road, when completed, will boost the economic activities in the area. Correspondent Elias Itiab reports that the construction work, which is to be executed in phases, was made possible by the member representing Boko Taka Federal Constituency, Mrs. Regina Akume. Given the upsurge in the spate of kidnapping and other crimes and criminality In Lafia metropolis, security agents are being given the marching orders to rise to the occasion by beefing up security in and around the state capital. The challenge to the security is coming at the emergency joint security meeting in Lafia. Bilkisu Guruku reports that the meeting is at the instance of Lafia Local Government Council.
One of the challenges accompanying the growth of urban centers is said to be increasing crime rate. Lafia, the Naso State capital, as one of the fastest growing urban centers in the country, is having its own ugly experiences as far as crime rate is concerned.
Because these crimes do not have the same pattern, it means the approach to containing them cannot be the same. So government needs to invest more in intelligence gathering.
More security operatives like the civil defense, the police, and then even the army, they are expected to be mounted in some of these flashpoints.
These concerns are part of the reasons for the emergency security meeting barely a week of resuming office by the chairman of Lafia Local Government Council. The meeting, comprising all the heads of security agencies in the state, the vigilante groups, community and religious leaders, is to brainstorm for possible measures of curbing the rising tide of emerging security threats, not only to the state's capital, but the entire state.
We wouldn't want to hear any insecurity in any part of the state. So as I had that and as I witnessed that, I decided to sum up for this urgent Joint Security Council meeting so that we can see ways to bring out strategies of overcoming the menace.
On the restriction of the tricycles and motorcycles movement in the state capital, the chairman reiterated that the policy is still in force. In recent times, there have been cases of kidnapping and assassination in some parts of the states, which has heightened palpable fear among the people and attendant implications on the socio-economic development of the state. In Lafia, Bilkisu Umar Gurku, NTA News.
And that does it from Makudi. We return to them in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Well, thank you so much, Susan. Now, the air component of Operation Fasanyama has conducted strategic airstrikes targeting major bandit enclaves located within Dunya Hill and Batauna Forest in Giwa, Kaduna State. These areas have long served as safe havens for bandit groups due to their dense vegetation and the natural protection provided by an array of caves. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Olushola Akimboewa, indicates that the objective of the airstrikes was to dismantle the entrenched criminal networks and degrade their capacity to operate effectively. The airstrikes were preceded by intensive intelligence gathering that meticulously identified high-value targets, including key logistics hubs and hidden armories used by the bandits. The aerial assault resulted in the neutralization of many combatants as well as the obliteration of significant stockpiles of weapons and resources critical to the bandits' operations. In a sign of the operation's success, multiple reports have emerged detailing the escape and liberation of several kidnapped victims who have regained freedom amidst the chaos inflicted upon their captors. Now, 58 kidnapped victims have regained their freedom due to the joint efforts of security forces. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the victims were held captive by a notorious terrorist, Jan Bros, in the Birnin-Gwari area of Kaduna State.
It has been a traumatizing moment for these victims, abducted from their villages in Kaduna State. The victims are 35 men, 23 women and a 2-year-old boy, Ahmed Jibrin, who endured unimaginable suffering. Now they are received at the office of the National Security Advisor in Abuja.
The worst moment of my life. I wouldn't wish such a condition on my worst enemy. I never thought I would regain my freedom. Thank God for the security forces.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, highlights the success of security forces intervention.
What we are seeing out of this number is the success of the collaboration right from the top from the presidency to the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Ministry of Defense to Defense, all agencies working together, including Kaduna State. The governor has been very, very supportive and very helpful. And it is this collaborative effort that has made it possible for us to be able to rescue these individuals. I know the question is, how were they rescued? It's a joint effort. We're able to do that through non-kinetic means of getting across. No penny was paid for these individuals.
The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Rubado, officially handed over the rescued victims to the Chief of Staff to the Kaduna State Governor, Sani Kela, for further care and rehabilitation.
I just want to thank the President, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, the National Security Advisor, all the security agencies, and the Governor of Kaduna State. He actually deserves accolade. He did a lot. The religious leaders, the traditional institutions, because security is everybody's business.
Beyond this significant rescue, security forces are reportedly increasing operations against bandits and terror warlords across their strongholds. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
As part of efforts to conserve nature's gift to the nation, critical stakeholders are putting human and material resources to revive the national parks. To this end, the African Nature Investors and the Gashaka Gumti National Parks have extended the national park reforms to parts of Gumti Park in Tongo local government area of Adamawa State. Simon Asher reports.
The investment of over 14 billion naira in the Gumti Park, in addition to the provision of accommodation, transportation system, among other basic amenities, are steps towards transforming the park. The commissioning of the new ranges outpost by the African Nature's Investment in collaboration with the National Park Service in Gumti Park of Gashaka National Park in Songo local government area of Adamawa State is not only to consolidate on the benefits already enjoyed by the rangers and the locals, but to preserve the rich heritage of the nation.
And there are social amenities that the community in Gumti sector is supposed to benefit. And this is one of it.
The outpost houses over 50 rangers and support staff permanently here within the north of the park. This outpost has 24 hours electricity. The outpost has water all the year round, from rainwater harvesting as well as water borehole. The outpost has 24 hours internet. So even though we are here in the middle of the bush, we can communicate with everywhere in the world. This just gives you a taste of what we hope to achieve in other parts.
This moment is not just a milestone in the preservation of our natural heritage, but also a testament to what can be achieved when partnerships are forged for a common purpose.
In Yola, Simon Asher, NTA News.
Now, attempts by drug syndicates to export large consignments of illicit drugs through the two Nigerian international airports of Abuja and Lagos to the United Kingdom, Italy, Turkey and Qatar have been thwarted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, who have arrested the masterminds. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports on these and other NDLEA operations.
A total of 13 parcels of cocaine weighing 4.40 kilograms going to the United Kingdom were intercepted by NDLEA officers at the export shed of the Lagos airport on 5th November 2024, while a businessman linked to the consignment was tracked and arrested on 8th November 2024. Similarly, the bid by another businessman to export 7,800 pills of tramadol, 180 tablets of rofinol, and 60 bottles of codeine to Italy was also fueled at the departure hall of the Lagos airport on Monday, 11th November. He was arrested after recovering the opioids concealed in food and other items while attempting to board a flight to Italy. Following credible intelligence, NDLEA officers on Friday, 15th November, raided a hotel room in an estate in Abuja, where they arrested 2 suspects. Recovered from them was 1.8 kilogram of methamphetamine, which they were preparing to travel with to Qatar. In another intelligence-led operation, some task force foiled an attempt by a trans-border trafficker to smuggle 50,000 pills of tramadol from Ghana into Lagos. The pills were concealed in the body compartment of a bus belonging to a transport company. Edo, Imo, Kano, Oyo, Kaduna and Kwara State were some of the hotspots during the week under review. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
We now move to our Lagos network studio where Adela is standing by with more stories. Adela, how are you doing?
Thank you, Bam. Good to see you. The contributions of Black people to global growth are enormous and visible in every facet of life. Documenting these contributions and bringing them to the fore will not only encourage youths to draw inspiration from the resilience of foremost Black leaders, but will also strengthen ties between African communities. Bolaji Hakim was at an event put together by the Center for Black and Africa Arts and Civilization, CBAC, to celebrate Black history.
Despite the unfavorable accounts and maltreatment meted out to Africans during the colonial era, the resilience, enduring strength, and perseverance of Africans and their descendants stand out. This is evident in various contributions made by Africans after the abolition of slave trade in global culture, science, technology, and thought.
We have become experts in our chosen professions. A lot of lecturers, for example, in Africa, or Africans, professors in Africa, have been sought after by European universities, by universities in the Americas, and all over the world.
Promoting awareness of Black history, achievements, and heritage with emphasis on Pan-Africanism will provide an opportunity for the younger generation to know their roots and bring about stronger ties between Africans in the diaspora.
We have to work together. We have to tell our own stories. We have to tell our own narratives of who we are as Africans, but also in innovation, figure out ways to strengthen and embolden Africans.
Part of our heritage, part of our story as Black people. So, and based on what has happened in the past as a result of direct result of what we are experiencing now as people.
With the theme, resilience, innovation, and unity, strengthen the African diaspora, Black History Celebration is an effort to foster unity across the diaspora and emphasize the importance of collective action in overcoming shared challenges. In Lagos, Bolaji Hakim, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps is committed to fulfilling its mandate by flagging off its Ember Month campaign to enlighten citizens of Lagos State on causes of road accidents and ways to end it.
Data by the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, reveals that the Corps recorded 111 road crashes in the first quarter of 2024. Although accidents are caused by many factors such as environmental and mechanical errors, officers of FRSC have attributed the major cause to human error. This 3-day Ember Month sensitization campaign with the theme, Speak Up Against Dangerous Driving, Crashes Kill More Passengers Than Drivers, is the Federal Road Safety Corps' way of raising awareness on precautionary measures to take during this festive season.
Ensure free and smooth traffic flow, reduce road traffic crashes, and create a safer motoring environment. To achieve this, the Corps Marshal has directed the immediate commencement of mega public enlightenment.
The Lagos State Commander, actively involved, also ensured that community leaders, major stakeholders, members of the society engaged in stimulating conversations at a town hall meeting aimed at sharing ideas and exposing the dangers of not speaking up against reckless driving.
When you train the community leaders go back to their community and give feedback to members of their community. So safety is everybody's responsibility. It makes a difference.
The FRSC reiterates that for man-made accidents to end, citizens must know their road rights and speak up against reckless driving. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
And those are reports from Lagos. It's time to take another break. More reports when we return.
The federal government of Nigeria warns vandals of national assets, electricity transmission towers, cables and other facilities to desist from this act of sabotage. Vandalism is a serious crime punishable under the law. Vandalizing electrical equipment will affect millions of Nigerians, including your loved ones. Remember that national assets belong to all of us, hence the need to protect them. Report all cases of suspicious movement around electrical facilities to security agencies. When you see something, say something. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor.
In Sokoto. Towards addressing high cost of foodstuff and to further justify Sokoto State government spending on more than 14 billion naira on the purchase of rice for sales to the people at subsidized price, the State Monitoring Committee for the Sales of the Commodity is intensifying supervision to ensure that Nigerians have access to the items. To this end, the committee was in Kebe, Sokoto South and Wamoko local government areas to ensure that the process is not compromised. The report.
168,000 bags of assorted rice and other essential commodities were procured by Saka State government for sales to the people at 55% discount to ameliorate the impact of the high cost of food items on the people. Sales of the rice and other essential commodities was launched at Kwara local government area last month following the setting up of the State Monitoring Committee by Governor Ahmad Ali Sokoto, mandated to effectively monitor implementation of the initiative across the 23 local government areas of Sokoto State without interference. The committee was in Kebe and Sokoto South local government areas to ensure that 600 bags of rice allocated to each ward are judiciously sold to deserving persons in the community. A bag of 50 kg is sold at 38,700 naira, 25 kg at 19,350 naira, while 10 kg will be sold at 7,740 naira, with a measure costing 2,150 naira. Aisha Husseini and Haruna Dambaga are among the beneficiaries.
Relief has come our way, we thank God.
I bought a bag of rice at cheaper price and it's a big relief to my family.
Chairman State Committee for the Sales of the Rice and former Deputy Governor of Sokoto State, Chief Abdullahi Dattijo, commended efforts of the two local government coordinating committee.
What we saw in Kebe and what we saw here, you can see it for yourself. There is a lot of improvements here. And you can see the crowd here, very peaceful.
Sokoto State government is subsidizing more than 9 billion naira of the rice market price.
In its bid to fast-track economic activities, connect and open up more communities, Sokoto State government has handed over 2 additional rural access road projects in Wuruno local government area to the contracting firm for execution. Lata Abdullahi reports that when completed, the road will ease transportation difficulties of Wuruno and Goronyo farming communities.
The 18.3-kilometer road project connected villages in Wuruno and the Goronyo local government areas. The construction is coming 2 weeks after a 17.6-kilometer Wuruno-Hama Ali road was flagged off. The projects are among the 80-kilometer rural access roads approved for Wuruno, Bodinga and Tambol local government areas by the Sokoto State government. The roads flagged off include 7.1-kilometer Huchi-Gidankamba Lugu Junction, 9.5-kilometer Wuruno-Dabagi Kwargaba Sabongari, and the 2.3-kilometer Goronyo rally aimed at improving the socio-economic activities of the people.
It is economically inclined. If you look at these communities, most of them are Fademo communities. They embark on all year round farming. So it will provide access to agricultural goods, and also it will provide access to a lot of communities there to be able to transport their goods to the market.
Political and community leaders in the areas expressed gratitude to the state government for its concern to their plights. Lugudam in Wurno local government is among projects that are receiving the required attention from Sokoto state government in its desire to boost irrigation activities to ensure food security in the country. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And those are the news updates from Sokoto. It's now back to Justin in Abuja.
Well, thank you so much. In line with global best practices in revenue and tax administration, Naso State is raising the bar by automating its revenue collection process with the launch of automated USSD code for payment of taxes in the state. Aliu Tijani reports that Governor Abdullahi Sule during the launch expressed confidence in the system's capacity to block leakages.
Naso State Internal Revenue Service came up with the initiative to sustain its drive of ensuring the state meets to its revenue target. Governor Abdullahi Sule said the introduction of the automated USSD code will ensure the remittance of the revenue to the appropriate channel. The governor adds that with initiative in place like this, there is need for proper utilization of the USSD code to ensure people of the informal sector pay their tax with ease.
You coming out with a new code, definitely we are going to use the opportunity, to plug the holes. And I'm urging everyone through the chairman to the various sources to ensure that we utilize the code. Nobody should go outside the code. We must make sure that we utilize the code so that it will be for the benefit of every one of us.
Chairman of the Naso State Internal Revenue Service, Ahmed Mohamed Yakubu, explained that launch of the USSD code is part of the core mandate of the State Revenue Service to enhance the revenue profile of the state.
And it may interest you to know, the Excellency, in 1 week, we were able to generate what we generate in a month for all the markets in Naso State with this code. This code now eliminates the use of manual receipts.
The chairman explained that proper enlightenment has been carried out to educate people on the effectiveness of the initiative. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
The federal government has laid 13 new critical infrastructure in Kano State to ensure that Nigerians acquire the necessary skills to become self-reliant and contribute to nation building. The Minister of State Education, Suwaiba Said Ahmed, performed the foundation laying at the National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education, Kano, pledging federal government's commitment to making Nigerians productive. Our Salisu reports.
The center serves as a hub for educating adults who miss formal schooling, as well as those seeking new skills in various trades. The new facilities under public-private partnership, when completed, will allow for more extensive training in areas like ICT, vocational trades, and basic literacy, contributing to the government's push for a more productive workforce. These developments are part of the federal government's ongoing efforts to improve literacy and skills acquisition among Nigerian adults and out-of-school youth.
Right now, they have about 800 students, and they are only teaching about 6 skills. But then with this partnership, they are going to be able to expand in terms of the vocational training that they can offer.
And we have a mass literacy center here in Kano. We have 68 learning centers. We have more than 1,400 instructors, and we have 48 women development centers that are also used for teaching women.
This center was envisioned as a regional training hub for adult education in Africa with the capacity to empower countless individuals by providing them with youth by skills, knowledge, mental resilience, necessary to make informed decisions.
With the new infrastructure, the Kano Center will increase its capacity to reach more individuals, equipping them with practical skills that are essential for economic development. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
In recognition of their loyalty and commitment towards promoting their brand, Promoo Nigeria, the makers of Top Tea, Twisco, Cowbell Milk and Onga Seasoning Cubes, has donated a branded bus worth millions of naira to Tea and Bread Vendors Association of Nigeria in Kano. Mohammed Ibrahim also reports that the company produces Cowbell coffee and Cowbell chocolate.
The presentation of the vehicle is to support and strengthen their long-standing partnership with the Tea and Bread Association of Nigeria. This is a testament to the critical role tea vendors play in distributing Promoo's quality products across Nigeria.
We are interested in creating value not only through our product, but also by supporting your businesses in ways that makes a meaningful difference.
The elated members of the Tea and Bread Association of Nigeria pledged to use the bus to further promote Promoo's products.
I want to assure the company that this relationship will prosper, and the next year when we are coming for another celebration, I'm sure the volume of this product will be more than double.
We are very grateful to this company that provided us with this bus. We had been hoping for it. It will greatly assist us in our business activities.
Present at the handover ceremony were the divisional sales manager, category manager and regional sales manager of Promoo, who emphasized the company's commitment to supporting their customers at the grassroots.
So we believe that this mutual partnership would help both partners and help scale our business, as it will also help scale the business of the TAPSAN members.
With this presentation, I think it will go a long way, because moving the bus around is giving a kind of advertisement. To further strengthen the vendors, Promoo Nigeria also organized a business training session aimed at enhancing their business management skills.
In line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu in reviving the educational sector, mathematics and English language teachers in the South-South geopolitical zone have been exposed to more efficient methods of teaching these core subjects for better teaching and learning outcomes. The Executive Secretary, National Senior Secondary Education Commission, Dr. Iyela Ajayi, charged the 200 participants to be committed to the development of the country's educational system and academic well-being of students. Erika Ivi has details.
The Secretary of National Senior Secondary Education Commission advises participants to imbibe the new techniques in teaching to improve student ability to pass examinations with high grades.
One of our core mandates is to train and retrain teachers.
If the teachers really take this training seriously and they absorb whatever they are going to learn from here, it is going to be very, very impactful.
I think after this program, things will not remain the same again. We'll have better results in English and mathematics.
Participants at the workshop expressed optimism, noting the skills acquired will improve learning among the students.
Bring these innovations and give us new skills and trends in order to impact the children, the students we teach with requisite knowledge.
Everything they have trained us here will impact on the students. They will no longer fail WAEC and NECO.
The interactive training drew participants from the 6 states of the South-South geopolitical zone, with a promise to make learning interesting and flexible among Nigerian students. In Calabar, Erika Ivi, NTA News.
Arrangements are being fine-tuned for the hosting of the annual FRCN, NTA and VON service of 9 lessons and carols. Elizabeth Omori reports that at a meeting with the Director General, Voice of Nigeria, Jibrin Babandache, the Central Committee acquainted the Director General on the level of preparedness towards the success of the annual event.
The venue has been secured for that date.
The normal convention is that the three sister agencies pool resources to fund the event. And the committee has made several efforts. We've made little commitments here and there. Invited General Yakubu Gawan, GCFR, to be the chairman of the occasion.
We have a responsibility to be able to use platforms like this to preach peace and unity and abide by the teachings of Christian religion.
At a separate meeting with the Director General, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, members of the committee also stressed the need to leverage the annual event for national unity.
Made all arrangements, and we have been able to meet some obligations, but then again some are still in the pipeline awaiting finance.
We shall continue to support it because it symbolizes peace, unity, patience, tolerance, and so on and so forth. And there's no better time for us to emphasize these virtues than now.
NTA is the host of this year's edition of the annual program with the theme, Jesus, Our Victory. Next, a sports update.
Let's begin by telling you that captain of the Super Eagles, William Trozor-Ekong, and midfielder Alex Iwobi said they are optimistic the team will seal the last game with a win against the Amavubi of Rwanda on Monday. The players who spoke with correspondent John Paul Alomona after their first training section in Uyo said they hope to seal the game with a perfect record, despite having qualified for the 2025 AFCON in Morocco.
We set up this campaign wanting to qualify. We've been unbeaten now in all those games, and yeah, I think we did what we needed to do, and now we have to look ahead to make sure that we finish this last game here against Rwanda in the correct way.
Of course, right now our main focus is to finish the game. We obviously want to do well and qualify for the World Cup, but the next aim in the AFCON is to try and win it.
In other news, 10 pension fund administrators will compete in the 4th edition of the 2024 PFA Games, set to take center stage in Abuja from November 26 to 30th. In a press briefing ahead of the Games, main local organizing chairman Oladakbo Oluwatokpe says the 10 teams will participate in 7 sporting events that will see between 500 to 700 staff members from the participating PFAs gracing the events.
On Tuesday, we'll be having an opening ceremony here at Top Arena Sports Center, Abuja, where we'll have all the PFAs come in and show their interest, show their love, have a spirit where they can participate uniquely according to their organization.
To boxing, as 58 years old Mike Tyson said he has no plan to retire yet, despite a decisive loss to Jack Paul in Texas. Tyson, who was overclassed over 8 rounds, landed only 18 punches to Paul's 78. Addressing speculation about his career, Tyson said, "I do not think so," hinting on a potential return. And finally, to tennis. Taylor Fritz became the first American since 2006 to reach the title match at the ATP Finals after winning against world number 2 Alexander Zverev on Saturday. The American fought off numerous breakpoint sets to win 6-3, 3-6, 7-6, ending a 2-hour 20 minutes duel. Fritz will next face home favorite and world number 1 Yannick Sinner in the Sunday's finals. With sports update, Oche Ngbede, NTA News.
This is where Nationwide ends. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Justin Bemu. You do have a good evening.